A judge in Pennsylvania has cleared the way for a trial involving the former mayor of Harrisburg. Stephen Reed, who served 28 years in that post, accused of spending public money on thousands of artifacts, items that were to be included in a museum that was never built. The allegations against Reed are detailed in the book Capital Murder by our ABC 7 News Channel 8 colleague, the investigative reporter Chris Pabst, who joins us now. Chris, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Bruce.
This is a big moment in what is really, while the former mayor denies the charges against him and is fighting those, that's why the trial is poised to go forward. This is a big moment in what's been a tragic set of events for the city.
Well, absolutely. In October of 2011, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania became the first and still the only capital city in American history to file for bankruptcy. And that's significant on a number of stages because capital cities are supposed to be recession-proof. This is where all the tax dollars from the state are coming. Tens of thousands of government workers go into the city every day, and they're buying parking spots, paying taxes, and things to that nature. So to have this happen to a city like that is significant. And in Capital Murder, we detail exactly what he did and how this happened over a 28-year period to lead to this bankruptcy. But also what's really significant about this is that this is not a Pennsylvania issue. This is an American issue. There are many of our cities where their politicians are misspending the money, racking up huge amounts of debt, and then when things do go bad, the quality of life for the people who live inside of that city, it significantly deteriorates. And that is what America needs to be worried about, that we don't have more Harrisburg.
How confident are prosecutors that they can prove the charges they have leveled against the former mayor?
Well, there were 499 charges against this guy, but it wasn't just buying these artifacts and having these artifacts. It was how he did it. So what his argument was, I bought these artifacts for the betterment of the city. I wanted to build these museums. The museums didn't happen to get built, but what he was doing was he was taking money from other projects like a water bond and then using that money to buy these artifacts. And how that plays out over this country is that now in Harrisburg you have a politician who is being held accountable for how he used taxpayer dollars for something he said was for the betterment of the city, but ended up driving the city into bankruptcy. So if you look at the implications of that across this entire country, we can now hold our politicians accountable for how they spend our money, even though they're saying that they're spending it in the right way. If it does lead to financial catastrophe, it's on them.
Are you surprised there hasn't been a plea? We don't know whether one was offered, but prosecutors often attempt a plea because it brings the sure thing of a conviction. It saves the time and expense of a trial, as well as the wild card factor that the person could escape scot-free, or that they could be cleared. The jury could say, no, we see no wrongdoing here. Does it surprise you, who has literally written the book on this matter, that we have reached this point without a plea?
No, because Mayor Stephen Reed, this mayor of 28 years, this man who in 2006 was named the greatest mayor in America, he's a guy that's not going to back down. It's not in his personality. And he's 65 years old now. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have a significant other. He has nothing really else to do except fight these charges and vindicate himself, because he was seen as this amazing mayor that took over largely a dead city, a Rust Belt city in 1982, and turned it by the time he left in 2010 to this remarkably beautiful city with all these things, including the AA affiliate for the Washington Nationals. And he wants to keep that legacy, but in doing so, the city did go bankrupt a year after he left office.
We only have about a minute left. Do you have a sense as to whether the city council, the folks who were by virtue of the way our system of government at all levels is designed, where some elected leaders are a check and balance against other elected leaders, sometimes even people they like and get along with, it's pretty clear that they fell down on the job. Have they been chagrined by what happened, and have they upped their game as a reaction to all this?
Well, the charges that the Attorney General levied against Stephen Reed are not the only charges coming down here. Some of those charges involved bribery, hundreds of thousands of dollars being given to city council members for certain votes, jobs being given, employment being given to city council members who in Harrisburg are part-time to achieve certain votes the mayor wanted. So if the mayor has been charged with bribery? What about the people being accused of taking that bribe? Story is not over. There's a lot left to come, and it's not just about Pennsylvania, as you know, Bruce. It's about America.
The trial begins when?
His next court date is mid-November.
Mid-November. The book is called Capital Murder, An Investigative Reporter's Hunt for Answers in a Collapsing City. The author is our colleague here, and we're delighted to have him here on staff, investigative reporter Chris Patch. Chris, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's great having you here. We are back with a News Talk program note right after this.